Jennifer came to me. She was telling me that her dad used to live in the UK, but now lives in Jamaica. On the 30th of November last year, she decided to send him a box of goodies, which included a mobile phone, a couple of torches, some Kit Kats, packet soup, and some snacks that he really misses. The value of the items, well, it came to about 80 quid. It cost her another £138 to send it to Jamaica. However, it still hasn't arrived.
I went to the courier service 2 weeks later to say, what's happened? It hasn't moved. Is there anything that they can do? Told me to hang on for a bit. The receptionist went and had a word with one of her work colleagues. Took a little while, came back, enjoying a sausage roll, and just said, there's nothing more that we can do. And then just explained, there's nothing more we can do. Here's the number, go away and call it. She said I could use their phone. She dialed. I got in touch with them, and they said they would call me later on that day. They're just saying that, they've sent the parcel. It didn't have the shipping documents, but that information came from overseas. That came from Jamaica.
Well, Jennifer's just getting very, very frustrated because she feels as if she spent a lot of money sending this parcel to her dad, and she just wants it to arrive. Well, we've been trying to track it down, trying to work out what the problem is, and trying to ensure that the parcel is released from wherever it is being held and delivered onwards. Jennifer's back on the JVS show now. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Jennifer. Right, so as you know, Miles has been working on this case, and he's been speaking to the courier company and also to customs in Jamaica. And it would appear, from our last conversation, Miles, the parcel is with customs.
Yes, so the courier company have been saying that the parcel's with customs and that they hadn't accessed the paperwork yet for it to go through. Now, I had a conversation with customs in Jamaica who said that actually the parcel would be with the courier company because apparently they're saying that all of this the parcels will be with customs, but the paperwork won't have been sent through properly because the paperwork gets processed instantaneously, was the word that they used. So we've put that back to the courier company and we're just waiting for a response. But in the meantime, Jennifer has been having conversations with the courier company at the same time.
Yes, and it's all very, very frustrating. Things have been going on behind the scenes, Jennifer. Anything else from your end?
Well, I've just had a phone call from the courier service, and all they've said is they've spoken to customs. Customs say to hold on, and they will update me when they can get things moving. And that's been it, really.
So this is not typical based on your experience of things getting stuck in customs and just never seeing the light of day again?
Well, this is the first time it's happened.
Right.
And, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Something from November up until this point, and they still haven't got any good news for me. It's just, as you say, it's really frustrating.
And how would it, forgive my ignorance here, but how would it work in terms of if your dad were to go along to the customs office in Jamaica? Would that help for him to have a face-to-face conversation and to say, what's happening? I gather you're holding on to a parcel. Can I please have it?
I'm not sure what would happen, but because of the COVID and him not being very well, that's the whole point of why I went with this service, because it'd be door-to-door.
Yes, but obviously it's not going to be door-to-door because it's stuck in customs. And the courier company is saying, well, look, we've done as much as we can. It's not our fault that customs are holding on to it and aren't releasing it. So is there another family member who could go to the customs office and say, you've got a parcel here, we need to collect it? Would that make any difference or not? I don't know, because I don't know the way the system works in Jamaica.
No, that's something I'm going to have to, I would have to look into. I'm not sure. I think they would have to have they would have to write a letter. It would have to be from a JP, and then he'll still have to bring his ID. My dad had to write a letter and then have to be signed. It's really, they just make it really difficult. But it's the case my dad would write a letter and then have to be a JP to sign it for someone else to collect it. Yeah, so...
Okay. Now, I know that you mentioned that you've contacted a local consumer program in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I didn't even realise that Jamaica had an equivalent of the JVS show, but they do.
Yeah.
And apparently it's presented by a chap called Vernon Darby.
That's
and
right, yeah.
you've spoken to Vernon, and he's kind of trying to help you from the Jamaica side of things, yeah?
Yeah.
I think, I'm hoping, because we've had some technical issues, but I'm hoping if I press this button, I can do a live link up now with Jamaica and with Vernon Darby. Hello, Vernon, are you there?
Yeah.
Good morning. How are you, Jonathan?
Oh, marvellous.
How are you this morning?
Oh,
great.
Vernon, we've struggled to get hold of you. Now, what's going on from the Jamaica side of things? Because it's so frustrating. This blooming parcel, it's being held by customs in Jamaica, and they just, for some reason, will not release it.
Well, the challenge is if something is shipped to Jamaica and they can't ascertain the duty to be paid, it can pose a challenge. Normally, the receipt will be shipped with the product, and that will help them to assess it. But from my experience, whether that receipt is there or not, they are able to assess it based on their own estimate. It seems to me that the company involved in the courier company did not follow, because if something is stuck in customs, they ought to know, and they should advise the client. It is when the client found out that the product did not reach the intended person in Jamaica that created a challenge. Now, I'm very happy to be on this program because we have had problems with consumers before in this country, and the program we have is a very popular program in Jamaica. So I'm very honored and quite pleased to know that this lady has caused a link between us, because this is a very popular program.
Well, I'm so pleased your program is popular. My program is very popular here as well. Helping the consumer is a very important job to do, Vernon.
Yes, and especially when they don't have the kind of clout and publicity plays. And I also I'm a commissioner for the Consumer Affairs Commission in Jamaica. So because I'm strategically placed, not only on radio, but also in a government entity as a commissioner, I'm able to help far more.
Right.
So I'm going to help that. They just need to keep in touch. But the DHL is the one that needs to do what needs to be done. If the product has a custom challenge, it's their job to inform the consumer to what is happening and to do what is required. And as far as I know, because as a matter of fact, I just heard from customs just about 15 minutes ago. I'm in touch with them. I was shocked that they gave me a response so quickly.
So have they said to you that they'll release the parcel or not?
No, they will not release it until duties have been paid.
Well, hang on a second. The duties have been paid, haven't they, Jennifer? Didn't you pay the duties?
I paid, the courier service at the beginning. I haven't had any receipts for me to pay anything further.
Right. Well, how much are they saying needs to be paid in duties, Vernon?
Well, they're not going to give me for a specific case. I'm only telling you what is required. If something comes to Jamaica, especially a phone, it will be dutiable. And what would happen is that the courier company should collect the money from you, and then they would pay to the customs, because it will be in Jamaica, and the courier companies normally pay that.
Right. And that would all be something that is transparent to the courier company at the point of selling, would it? So they would know how much the customer needs to pay in the due. Because obviously Jennifer's paid a lot of money. She's paid £138 to send this parcel. So surely
Of the cost of the phone, it will incur duties.
Yeah. So surely part of that 138 quid would have been the duty. But how do we know that...
No. That's not my understanding. My understanding, unless Jennifer can inform, was that she paid for the phone, but as far as I know, she did not pay an extra amount for duties. Jennifer, can you let me know that, if you had paid money separately for duties?
No, I haven't paid. No, I haven't paid anything separate. I just paid that amount at the beginning when I sent it off in November. Nothing else.
Right. So the product would be dutiable, and that you have to be paid separately. No, it's the courier company that should now contact her and say that money has to be paid. Or, basically, the person in Jamaica would be advised, and they when they go to collect it, they would now pay for it.
And what about, because the mobile phone that was in the parcel, it was only an old mobile, wasn't it? So you don't want to end up, Jennifer, having to pay a whole load of duty for an old mobile phone.
That's it, yeah.
That's the thing. That's why it's best not to send things to another country, especially second hand. It's not advisable because you might find the duties you pay and the cost for transportation is quite prohibitive.
Right.
It's not a second-hand phone, it's just a cheaper.
It's a cheaper phone.
Yeah.
Yes, but by the time you pay duties, sometimes it's best to let somebody carry the phone to Jamaica, because if you carry the phone, they normally give you a certain allowance. But the moment you send it to a courier, it's going to incur duties.
Right.
And the person who's receiving it is normally expected to pay the duties.
And do we know how much the duty would be on a mobile phone?
The customs persons, they would know, assess it, and based on the value and also the receipt, they have a number of ways they can assess you.
But you see, that's what's so frustrating about this whole situation, Vernon, because if they were to say to Jennifer, if they were to open the line of communication and say, look, duty is owed on this mobile phone, you need to transfer, I don't know, $30 or whatever it may be, then I presume, Jennifer, you could make the decision and you could make that payment and release the parcel. But because nobody's talking to you...
Yes, let me tell you what ought to happen. The person receiving the phone, they ought to be contacted. So I don't want to jump to conclusion because I don't know all the facts in terms of DHL. But what is required, if you have a package and it's dutiable, you contact the intended receiver. And then you say duty has to be paid for so much. And then the person who's supposed to receive that phone would pay the duties to custom. Or to pay to DHL, who would pay it over to custom. Now, if that person doesn't have a credit card, because normally they'd have to pay by credit card or something like that, and if it's going to somewhere in Jamaica, it might not be accessible to probably internet, and the person might not be able to pay that duty. So the challenge now is for DHL to contact the sender. And if Jennifer sent me an email this morning in terms of the DHL contact, copy me, then I need to know who's the DHL contact. I will be speaking to them in Jamaica and for them to arrange for that due to be paid.
Brilliant. Right. Well, this sounds like the best way to now get it released from your end, right. Vernon. This is so nice talk. Are you? What's the weather like in Jamaica today?
About the weather, well, I must tell you, it's been pretty cool. Not as cold and freezing like in your country, but pretty cool, which we are not used to. For example, in Mandeville, which is a high point, weather as low as 17 degrees Celsius.
17?
Yes, man, it's very cold because Mandeville is perched on a hill.
Oh, right. Well, I just had an impression of you doing this consumer show that you do, on the beach with maybe a glass of Malibu.
No. You have it all wrong.
Oh.
Funny enough, beaches are all around, and many of us in Jamaica cannot even swim to save our lives, which is very bad. And we have a beautiful country, and we don't even spend the time to go and discover it.
Well, I just wondered if you and I, would you like to do a job swap? You could come and do my show for a couple of weeks, and I'll go over and do your show for a couple of weeks. How does that sound?
I don't know. One, I can take the accent, my buddy. I don't know if I can deal with a cold in England. You'd have to learn the passport in Jamaica.
Hang on, are you suggesting that you'll have to talk with an English accent and I'll have to talk with a Jamaican accent?
Yes, I have to say, Guan, the brethren.
What? Guan?
Mean, what is happening?
Oh, right.
The brethren.
I see. So nobody will understand me in Jamaica. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, they will. But I will tell you that if you come to Jamaica as a consumer, you have that accent, you might cost you a little bit more. So you have to know how to barter when you go on the road.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right. Well, listen, we'll work on the job swap. In terms of trying to get this parcel released, we will continue to liaise with you. If there's any more we can do from our end with the courier company to apply more pressure, we can certainly do that. So if you keep us in the loop, and if you need us to go and apply any pressure from this end, and hopefully, Vernon, I don't know, do you have, when you achieve success on your programme, do you have a horn?
Do I have a what?
A horn.
Oh, no! We have hand clapping.
You have hand clapping?
Yes.
Well, listen to this. That's my horn. And hand clapping, Vernon.
And it definitely gives you a little hint of that British culture. I love it.
Oh, listen, it's been good talking to you, Vernon. Thank you very much indeed, Vernon Darby, who presents a consumer programme in the mornings in Jamaica, who's now helping Jennifer from the Jamaica end. We will continue to liaise from the UK end. And Jennifer, what a team you've got behind you, all the Vernons all together.
Amazing, absolutely fantastic.
All right. Well, listen, we will keep in touch and we'll talk to you very soon. And obviously, if we need to apply any more pressure to the courier in this country, more than happy to do that. Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.